I done came in with the pack roll. I just let the gas blow. To where I've been and where I go. Yeah, I've been through the darkest holes, but made it to the promised goal. That's because I cleaned it up like Colgate. On my own, give a fuck about a soulmate. Charge the game, I got the pro rate. Stay to myself in a place where I need no face. Cleaning it up, I ain't catching a case. Yeah. When she did, I been really on my shit. Ain't no counterfeit. I done made it out the ditch. That was a low pro, smoking that gap, but I don't even roll. I'm loving that shit, making it go, boy. Oh yeah. They be ballin', I be scoring. Fly through portals, Rick and Morty, but that shit's another story. Fucked on a bitch named Corey and this other bitch named Jordy. Had them both up on my mattress, leaking, squirting till the fucking morning, Run the game just like I'm 40, like I'm 40, like I'm 40, like I'm 40. Bring it back one time, smoke a jack one time, let's relax one time. Hot black like the night, bring it back one time, smoke a jack one time, let's relax one time. Hot black like the night, one time. Time to hop up in the mic, shining bright like blinding light. On the ground, but on the flight, baby, I can change your life. Do that shit like no surprise, baby, look into the skies. You can see the way I shine, you can see the way I shine, You can see the way I shine. I've been on my grind. I won't wait in line, baby, I won't wait in line. Welcome to the communication station with your boy Schwetzel. Welcome back, everybody. We back in this bitch, and we just played a random song that I haven't heard in a good long time. Man, I didn't get all my hair to fucking go up properly. That shit look weird as hell, but it's all good. We back in the communication station. We back in this bitch. So today, once again, thank you for all new subscribers. Big shout out to y'all. Thank you for all donations. Thank you for all consultation agreements and shit like that. I appreciate all of y'all. Everybody who's been supporting and shit like that. Good, big shout out to you guys. But yeah, we gonna get into this shit today. I don't have too much time, so I'm gonna try to make this breakdown as quick as I possibly can. I've got some other clips that I need to upload, and then plus I got to go to work at 4 o'clock. So we just gonna make this shit as quick as we possibly can and break this shit down to the fullest extent possible within the time frame that we working with here today. So today we're talking about justifying things versus making sense out of things, or making things practical. You get what I'm saying? Because the lines can get blurred a lot of times. You'll either have people perceiving you as trying to justify shit when you're just trying to make things make sense to yourself, or you're trying to make things make sense to the people in your environment. If you care about these people enough to explain yourself and shit like that, you're going to try to, you know what I'm saying? You're going to try to make sense out of whatever it is that you're into. For them as well. Not only does it, have to make sense to you first, but also, you know what I'm saying? It's got to make sense. It's got to make sense to them as well. So a lot of times we be in a situation where we get the two of them confused. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times whenever we're justifying things, we will make practical sense out of some shit, but it still be as the justifying energy. Like you're making things make practical sense to yourself, but at the same time, the reason why you're making practical sense out of things might be because you're making excuses of why some shit makes sense, of why you need to act out in these certain characteristics that might be detrimental to you, or might be just detrimental to other people in your environment. And let's not get it fucked up. We don't really need to care as much if it's detrimental to people in our environment. Like nowadays, we need to be a little bit more selfish with ourselves and with our time and energy and things like that. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? You don't just want to be a person who is always fucking over on people for no reason and justifying that and making sense out of it. Like, yeah, I need to be selfish right now. Or, yeah, I need to, do whatever, do this or that. So let's not get the two confused. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, a lot of times we'll try to make practical sense out of things, as an excuse to justify some shit. So, you know what I'm saying? We'll be sitting back utilizing all of our earth energies of why we need to make sense out of why we need to continue doing flunked out shit or detrimental shit. That's not necessarily the type of time we need to be on. You get what I'm saying? What you want to do, especially if you're somebody who has a lot of earth energies in your chart, or somebody who has like Capricorn sun, for example, like me, Taurus moon as well. So I'm always trying to react and respond to what's stable and makes sense. And with my sun, I'm always trying to show that. And with my sun sign too, where it's tied into me personally, where I'm a Capricorn, like I said, even like a lot of times it'll be confused as justification, but really it's just making sense out of shit. Because for me personally, like something has to be worth it. Something has to make sense for me to even want to continue to acting on certain characteristics and traits of my own self. You get what I'm saying? So there's a big difference between actually justifying some shit and between actually being in the state of being where you're making sense out of things. Because like I said, I'm an earth sign. If you're a person who has a lot of earth energies in your chart, that's what you're going to be more correlated to. You're going to be trying to make sense out of shit so that you know what I'm saying? So that way it's practical. You can take practical application on things. You can, you know what I'm saying? You can utilize the practical aspect, the earth energy, the grounding aspect of whatever it is that you're into for it to make sense to you. Because a lot of times we be into things, especially when we get into the emotional intelligence side of things, whenever we're implementing certain things and acting on certain things that might be some formulation of an emotional impulse at the moment, or something that we're correlating ourselves toward because we feel a certain way about a certain situation. You get what I'm saying? Or whatever our vibe is at the moment, we're acting out on more of that. So certain people, you know, certain people with like fire, a lot of fire in their chart, or certain people with a lot of water signs in their chart and stuff like that will not necessarily need it to make a lot of sense. You get what I'm saying? Especially like a Pisces or something like that. Y'all already know that these are the most motherfuckers who need a straitjacket and probably need to go to the insane asylum at the end of the day anyways. You get what I'm saying? So a lot of times people with a lot of water energy or a lot of fire energy won't necessarily need to make sense out of things in their mind or make sense out of things internally before acting on some shit. You get what I'm saying? And correlated to my personal experiences, like I act on the passion, you know what I'm saying, the vibe that I have, the way that I feel about things. I act on that type of stuff, but at the same time, I need to make sense out of it. I need to be in a position where it actually makes sense. It's something that I can actually take action on in reality and actually be able to develop a business off of it, develop something, you know, something that's going to be better for me, something, you know, just something that makes sense. So that's the difference, because we can be in a state of being where we're acting on our vibe, we're acting on our emotions at the moment, and we're sitting back justifying why this person deserves to be slapped upside their head right now, or this person deserves to be cussed out at the moment, or you know what I'm saying, whatever type of negative shit that you into at the moment. And don't get me wrong, sometimes a motherfucker do need to be slapped upside their head. Sometimes a motherfucker do need to be cussed out and shit like that. But at the same time, don't justify your meaning and reasoning for doing things like that as far as taking it outside of practicality. Don't be utilizing the earth energy and the practicality aspect of that energy to then justify why you need to be negative in every situation. And anytime somebody says something that necessarily make you feel a certain type of way or make you feel disrespected or some shit like that, you come to grips within your mind of why you need to fucking slap them upside their head or chuck a liquor bottle upside their fucking face and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily always like that. We need to actually be using true practicality, true overall truth, instead of just objectively being like, oh yeah, this person said some shit that make me feel some type of way, so now I'm about to justify practically why I need to go outside my body and fucking punch this person in their face or something. No, it's not necessarily like that. You need to be acting on things that you look like vibes have been consistently up for some time. Yeah, man, everything's been going good, dude. My momentum is there. You know what I'm saying? Like motivation and discipline isn't really necessarily a thing that I need to even correlate towards anymore. It's more so just You know what I'm saying? The momentum is there. I can't slow down even in the evening time. Like after I've been working all day and shit, like I can't even slow down in the evening time. Like my momentum gets going, and I'm the type of person that after my momentum gets going, I could be fucking laying in the bed type shit at the end of the night, but I'm still like internally, my momentum has been going all day. So I'm the type of person I'll lay in the bed and fucking like wiggle my toes at the end of the bed or something for the whole night and not be able to fall asleep unless I like smoke a J or some shit. You get what I'm saying? And Solar System said dump those shorts. Yeah, by now by now them things are done uploading. I'm actually finna check on that right now because I got that tab open. Yeah, it's finished now. I just need to look at it and see exactly what's going on with it type shit. You know what I'm saying? Get into it a little bit deeper because I don't even know how to run that system right now. I just uploaded my video and plugged it into whatever it was telling me to plug it into, and now I'm gonna have to go back and watch them and make sure that everything is correlated to how I want it to be presented and shit like that. He said, "Be sure to watch them all." Yeah. That's yeah. But yeah, so let's not get into the aspect of justifying all of our negative energies and justifying everything. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we'll utilize that practical earth energy and think that we're doing something and think that we're just making sense out of things to ourselves and making things be practical and making things be more, you know what I'm saying, correlated to the earth of how it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Or making it stable in some type of way. But a lot of time people be using that energy just to justify whatever negative characteristic and trait that they have. And big shout out to somebody that I was hanging with last night who actually put me on game to some shit like this. You know what I'm saying? And help me realize areas where I myself could be still doing things like this and utilizing the practical earth energy to justify whatever it is that I'm into at the moment, or how that could be perceived in that certain type of light when I'm actually not justifying things and I'm just trying to I've already made sense out of it to myself of why it makes sense that I need to continue doing these things. And now I'm trying to make sense out of it to you, because you know what I'm saying? If it's somebody, I value your opinion, or you know what I'm saying? Or I just fuck with you like that. Like, yeah, I'm going to explain myself to you and let you know, like, practically why this makes sense to me, why, you know what I'm saying, why it should make sense in the environment, in reality and stuff like that. Because there's a lot of things that we got to take into consideration when we're actually interacting with reality and the environment. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a multitude of ways that you can be perceived due to your own expression and stuff like that. Like people could incorrectly perceive you in a lot of different type of ways. But at the same time, it could just be an actual perception. It actually could be something that they're right about where you're making a mistake. You get what I'm saying? And when you're allowing yourself to be perceived in that type of light, it kind of allowed them to shine a light onto you as far as where you're making mistakes at, or where you're falling short at, and things like that. And you get what I'm saying? A lot of people will justify that in their own mind and make practical sense out of why this person is just a fucking hater or some shit at the moment. Tink says so true. Yeah, facts. I mean, this is the type of shit we be on all the time. We just peeping game from life, utilizing our wisdom and experience. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, we'll have situations where people will perceive some shit from us of how we're in a negative type of characteristic and trait, and it's either detrimental to us or it's fucking up our relationships and it's detrimental to people in our environment. But we will make sense of that in our own mind and chalk it up as this person just being a hater, or, you know, the typical type of spiritual conscious community shit where people will say some shit like, oh, you're just reflecting at the moment, or oh, you're just reflecting your own insecurities onto me, or your own shortcomings, or your own fall off. No, that's not necessarily always the case. You need to peep game. Due to your own expression and shit like that, you're allowing yourself to be perceived in a certain type of way, regardless of if this person is blurring the lines and construing their own energy into yours. And you get what I'm saying? Just pay attention, because sometimes even if that is a piece of their own insecurity and that's just them reflecting it off of you, pay attention. You're hearing that for a reason. You're not hearing it for no reason. So sometimes it could actually be something that you're still struggling with. But like I said, you want to write it off and be like, oh no, this person's just a hater. They just ain't fucking with me at the moment, or something like that. when that might not be the case. You might just be actually flunked out at the moment. You might actually just be falling short in certain areas. You might actually just be into some negative shit, a negative routine and pattern that you're not seeing as a negative routine and pattern or characteristics and traits at the moment due to what you've done internally as far as making it practical and making sense out of it and justifying it as far as why it makes sense for you to continue to do this. And another thing that y'all need to take into consideration, a lot of times whenever we're making practical sense out of things in the justification type of way, where we're justifying our negative behavior and shit like that and how we interact with people and shit like that, a lot of times these things are developed upon what has worked in the past, and it's developed upon what type of traumas that we've developed due to our traumatic experiences and shit like that. So we will develop a justification and we will make practical sense out of things because it has worked in certain environments in the past and shit like that. And we don't necessarily need to be in a space where we're dragging those negative trauma responses into new experiences, because what you need to understand is we're all learning, we're all healing and growing as time goes on with our experiences and shit like that. So these new people that you're interacting with in a new environment and stuff like that, these people might not necessarily construct or correlate themselves with reality in the same ways that these people treated you in your trauma era, where you developed these characteristics and traits at. You get what I'm saying? So these new people they don't react and respond to things in that way. So whenever you are exhibiting certain characteristics and traits based on your traumas that you've developed and the trauma responses that you've learned from that shit might not work in this environment now. You get what I'm saying? That's some shit that only worked with those negative ass people that you was dealing with in your upbringing or your family or your fucking whatever shit you was into when you was in the streets and shit like that. Don't get it. Don't try to bring those into the newness. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of times it be correlated to comfortability too. People love to be comfortable, especially somebody like me, a Taurus moon. We like to be comfortable. We like to be stable, or like a Cancer moon or some shit like that. Y'all motherfuckers like to be comfortable and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So it be correlated to comfortability. We're in a new space now, interacting with new energies, new frequencies and vibrations, new people and shit like that, new characters, new traits and shit like that. But we're still trying to drag all those old traits into what the newness is. And life and experience is going to show you, like, bitch, that shit don't work no more. Like, why are you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you still trying to do this type of shit? Why are you still trying to correlate things in this way? Why are you still trying to, you know what I'm saying, be negative in this certain type of aspect? It's not always going to work in the newness. Don't be so fixated on your own comfortability. Don't be so afraid to make mistakes or show your ass or be seen in certain type of ways or perceived negatively, just because of what you're trying to hold on to the comfortability of what you know works and shit like that. It might not work in this new environment. And just because it's comfortable, just because it's work, don't necessarily mean it's the right thing to do and it's the right thing for you. You get what I'm saying? Operate on the newness. We're all in the space of newness. We're all in a new world. We're all in the age of Aries right now. We're correlated to our own individuality, our own oneness. You get what I'm saying? So we need to be correlated more to the newness and not so much giving a fuck about the comfortability and the tools that we have implemented to maintain our comfortability over time and what we know is working for us and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It might not necessarily be something that fits in that space of what you're trying to create, whatever dream and goal that you're on right now. Because if you watch my channel, 9 times out of 10, you actually have something going on for yourself. You're either like me, you're making videos, you're making music, or you're developing a business, or you're in school to be a nurse or some shit like that. You're on some type of different path where you're creating the newness. You're creating the business. You're creating whatever it is that whatever goal and dream that you have at the moment. 9 times out of 10, if you're watching this channel, you're growing towards shit like that. You get what I'm saying? So that space is complete newness. The old shit isn't going to work. It's not broad enough. It's not strong enough to even be able to be maintained in that environment. So when you start reacting and responding to the environment in those old and outdated ways, you're going to get like slapped in the face. Maybe not physically slapped in the face, but like mentally and emotionally, you're going to get like slapped down type shit, because it's trying to show you that this shit don't work. You know what I'm saying? It's trying to show you that this isn't how we need to react and respond to the environment anymore. We need to be on some new shit. We need to be on whatever is, you know what I'm saying? Whatever the environment calls for. As y'all grow and shit like that, y'all are going to get into a space more and more where you're able to perceive what type of characters are being shown in the environment right now. You're going to be able to understand what is actually building up the atmosphere in the environment. Don't get fixated in all that you see with these two eyes right here. Pay attention to your internal intuitions. Pay attention to what's really going on in the environment. That is going to help you correlate yourself more to where you can like lessen the percentage level of negative experiences that you get. And it'll also help you lessen a percentage level of more trauma that you're developing and shit like that, because you're going to be strong enough now to whenever those traumatic experiences or somebody's trying to like fight with you or argue with you, you're going to be in a space now where it's not going to affect you as much, or it'll be a situation where you're strong enough internally to be able to just ignore it and walk away type shit. Like, you don't need to involve yourself in every fight. You don't need to confront every single person that come out the side of their neck and say some shit that might be offensive towards you, or you might take as disrespect or some shit like that. Sometimes the best thing to do is just keep your mouth closed and ignore that ain't shit ass person, or give them that look like, bitch, what are you doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just give them that funky ass look like, what the fuck is you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, why are we doing this type of shit? And 9 times out of 10, these people will actually realize that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people will realize that. There's certain individuals though that you do got to be like, hey motherfucker, like, you disrespecting me right now, or like, I don't fuck with that, like, quit doing that type of shit. Because you can be silent all you want, or you can give them all the vibe and all the fucking weird body language, like, motherfucker, you're a weirdo, why you doing shit like that, all you want. But certain people are not perceptive enough to pick up on social cues and shit like that. You get what I'm saying? Like, certain people can't pick up on the social cues of what's going on. So you might be expressing something as far as like, look, bitch, like, I'm not trying to talk right now. Like, you might not say that, or you know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, I'm not trying to talk to you right now. You might actually not come outside your mouth and say that, but a person who's able to perceive the social cues would get that energy from you. You get what I'm saying? They would get that body language. They would get that vibe from you. Like, okay, this person not trying to talk right now, so maybe I just need to shut my bitch ass up and move on type shit. Like, some people will actually be able to see that, but certain other people aren't able to perceive things like that. So you actually do have to come outside your mouth and be like, look, dude, like, you're draining me with how much you're fucking talking to me right now. Like, these are not any type of conversations or topics of discussion that I want to be involved with at the moment. So sometimes you have to tell a person like, hey man, like, I don't want to talk to you right now. Like, keep that shit over there type shit. Just have balance and equilibrium with everything, and peep game from the environment. Everything don't need a reaction. Try to stay calm and collected, but let people know not to fuck with you. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the type of tip you need to be on. Because like she said, not everything need a fucking reaction and response. You know what I'm saying? That is like another formulation of self-sacrificing type of energy. Because if you sitting here thinking that every person that comes across you that says some shit that you take the wrong way, they might not even meant it that way. You know what I'm saying? Everybody has their meaning and reasoning for everything they do. You know what I'm saying? So a motherfucker might not even meant that in that type of way. That's basically you just being like a crash dummy. If you ready to just attack on every fucking situation, no. Don't be like that. You need to be more like a coiled snake in a way. You get what I'm saying? Ready to strike when you need to type shit. You know what I'm saying? When it's absolutely necessary. This don't mean avoid every confrontation and be extra fucking soft and ooey gooey gushy and shit like that. Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Certain situations you are going to have to attack some shit, whether that be verbally, whether that be a person is actually trying to fucking fight with you at the moment. Yeah, you're going to have to defend your shit. You know what I'm saying? Attack these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let them know not to fuck with you. That's the type of shit that is gonna allow people to know. You know what I'm saying? Not taking no shit, not being the person that, like I've talked about when we working 9 to 5 jobs and shit like that, not being the person who come into the job and do the job to the fullest extent and the best of, I'm going to be the best dishwasher in this motherfucker, or I'm going to be the best chicken nugget scooper in this bitch, or I'm going to be the best, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to be the best mopping the floors motherfucker in this bitch. Like, nah, do the job to its extent. You know what I'm saying? Don't do it to overworking yourself and overdoing yourself. That comes into everything. Don't be in the self-sacrificing type of energy. Be more in an equilibrium state of being. Be more in a balanced state of being. That way people know whenever you in that job, they know, okay, this person does their job well, so we need to keep them around. But at the same time, we know that this person is not to be fucked with. So therefore, we know we can't start piling all type of extra responsibilities onto this person, because they're going to let it be known like, hey, I was hired to do this job. These have been my responsibilities since I started working here. If you want to add extra responsibilities onto me, you're going to have to compensate me with the money, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. That stuff like that, just having discipline within your own nature and your own expression and your own self. You know what I'm saying? As far as like, I'm not going to be played with in this type of way. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to allow people to do me like this. When situations like this happen, I'm going to speak up about it and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So just pay attention to that shit, because it plays out in a multitude of ways. Like the shit we was talking about at the beginning of this video, the job shit. There's a multitude of ways this shit play out. Like people will always be trying to play with you. Don't get it fucked up and think that you're going to manifest some type of situation where you just going to be all fucking kumbaya with the world and shit like that, and everybody's going to love you and support you and shit like that. Like, nah, bitch, you still going to have haters. You still going to have motherfuckers who's going to try to play with you and disrespect you in certain type of ways and shit like that. It's just your reaction and response to it is what is going to develop more of a balance and equilibrium with your experiences. That way, certain people who is like pussy and shit like that, or certain people who's extra soft and stuff, they're going to avoid you and shit like that. You're not going to be the person that is going to be the butt of the joke for whatever fucking joke that they got going on at the moment. You're not going to be the person that, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to get played with in that type of way. You know what I'm saying? But there's always going to be motherfuckers who don't give a fuck how you feel and shit like that. So pay attention to that too. Because last time I checked, ain't nobody ever took into consideration how the fuck I felt. Even any girlfriend that I've ever had in my life, I don't remember any time where somebody has lessened their harshness or their aggression or lessened any type of expression coming out of their mouth that they know might make me feel some type of way. You get what I'm saying? So last time I checked, don't nobody give a fuck how you feel. So you need to do shit to make yourself be all right. You know what I'm saying? Don't necessarily be in a situation where you're always trying to make yourself feel better all the time and shit like that. Like that's not necessarily what it's about. Like sometimes we need certain percentage level of suffering type of energy. Sometimes we need certain percentage level of being depressed and feeling like we ain't shit at the moment. That way we can, you know what I'm saying? That way we can, whenever we're in those other emotions that are more positive, that make us feel more better about ourselves, we can experience them at a more broad perspective. And you know what I'm saying? We know that the common people who are in the world couldn't ever create an emotion, couldn't ever create a gas cloud that is that good. You know what I'm saying? Or that big or that broad or that extreme. You know what I'm saying? And if you know this, if you're a person who's been through a good bit of shit in your life, or develop things in a correct type of equilibrium aspect for yourself, you know this because you've had situations where you've felt such low lows, but at the same time, you have felt such immense joy to the point where you kind of have to cut yourself off from that joy. You get what I'm saying? At least I have. And I feel like anybody who's been through shit or correlated things in a similar way like I have would experience that too. Like there's certain situations in my own life, even when I'm just fucking like sitting on the couch pondering about some shit, thinking about some things. There's been certain situations in my life where I've gotten too happy. And I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of y'all. I understand that shit would never make sense to a lot of y'all. But there's been situations in my own life where I've been too happy. You get what I'm saying? And I've had to like cut that off a little bit. You know what I'm saying? So don't always be in a situation where we striving to make ourselves feel better all the time and striving for happiness all the time and shit like that. It's not necessarily about that. You know what I'm saying? It's about balance and equilibrium. That is what's going to give you a more ease throughout your experiences and stuff like that. Fuck, that vape's dead. I forgot. But yeah, that's the shit that is gonna keep things more balanced. You stay more balanced internally, you're gonna be more balanced externally. That's just how life is. That's how life works. We create our own reality. We create what we're experiencing at the moment. You get what I'm saying? So the more you're operating on less balance, the more you're operating on really high highs and really low lows, really low pitfalls and really high peaks and shit like that, what you need to understand is your life is going to reflect that. You need to be more at a balanced state at all times, even mentally and emotionally. You get what I'm saying? The more that you operate on high highs and then low lows, your environment is going to reflect that. So you might be a person who fucking build a good foundation, or what you think is a good foundation, because it's going to come crashing down anyways if you operate on high highs and low lows. But you might be a person who think that you've built a great foundation, and you start building things up, and then you build this shit up to the highest it's ever been. You got your own business. You got your own house now. You work a good career. You work a good 9 to 5 or some shit. Get paid a lot of money. All the relationships that you have is of one accord, and everything's just going so good. That's so good that you damn near can't even believe it. You get what I'm saying? And then boom, that's the exact moment when a tower moment or some type of catastrophic event is going to happen to make you lose everything. And then you're completely assed out back on base level again and have to start over. The reason why is because what you were doing internally, instead of operating on a more balanced state with your mentality and your emotions and shit like that, with your logic and reasoning and your vibe, your emotions and shit. That's why you're not operating it in balance. The more balanced that you are, the more you're able to actually maintain balance and stability within your environment, especially if you're a person who has earth energies and you crave shit like this and crave stability, and you can't ever hold on to it and you can't figure out why. It's because of that. It's because you're trying to hold on to it. It's because of your state of being internally. It's not fostering an environment where stability could be upheld. You get what I'm saying? But don't get it fucked up. We don't need to be trying to uphold things all the time. That'd be one of our biggest downfalls, is because we trying to hold on to shit. You get what I'm saying? No matter what it is, a career path, a fucking business thing, a fucking getting a house, whatever it may be that you're seeing as stability at the moment. Oh, fuck. That Dr. Pepper went down the wrong pipe, bitch. But yeah, so just pay attention to that shit, and also pay attention to the Venus energy because we're talking about Earth shit right now. We're talking about practicality and shit like that. We're talking about Capricorn and Taurus mostly. You get what I'm saying? Because Virgo is just, it's just by default. That's the workspace. That's the 6th house space. That's the work energy, and plus worrying energy as well. But that is just by default. You know, to get stability or to be practical and shit like that, it's going to take the work energy. So we're going to kind of skip over the Virgo energy, because that is something that should just already be understood for most of y'all. You get what I'm saying? So yeah, take into consideration the Venus energy, because Venus rules Taurus. So pay attention to not only, sorry, excuse me, y'all, that fucking Dr. Pepper hit me weird. Not only pay attention to what you're viewing as stability at the moment, also pay attention to the things that you're putting love, appreciation, and value into. What those things as well is going to help you get a grip on things. So if you're valuing the wrong type of things at the moment, but make sure, even if you need to write this shit down on a piece of loose leaf paper or some shit, make sure that you are able to sift through all the things that you are placing appreciation, value, and love on at the moment. That's going to help you correlate your stability more, because you don't want to be into you don't want to be stable on some shit that you don't give a fuck about, right? Like you don't want the things that you don't care about, the things that you don't value or appreciate. You don't want those things to be stable, right? You could give a fuck if they blew in the wind or not. You get what I'm saying? You correlate correctly. That way you know what is worthy of developing some sense of stability around. You get what I'm saying? And also, whenever we're talking about the Capricorn energy, the practicality energy and shit like that, make sure you're also paying attention to the Saturnian area of it. Make sure that you're paying attention to what your routine and pattern is at the moment. The things that you have in your environment as far as tools and shit like that, and what you're utilizing, what you're doing on a day-to-day basis and shit like that. Make sure you're paying attention to your routine and pattern, because this is going to help you actually develop that practicality, because using the routine and pattern and the practicality and vice versa, looking at them both at the same time, and I can't think of the word for it, but like mix matching what need to be, you know what I'm saying? What need to go in each area and shit like that. What is practical to you at the moment, and what makes sense to you at the moment, and what you can utilize that for to evolve into the routine and pattern on a day in to day out basis. That way it actually is even more practical. Whenever you're utilizing it in a day-to-day routine and pattern type of aspect, it make it more practical because your experience is going to start to show you how it is practical. And when you act it out on a day-to-day, it's going to show you how it do make sense in reality, how you could get support for it, how you could make a business out of it, how you could make some money off of it. You get what I'm saying? Shit like that. So take that into consideration when you're developing that, and then tie this to the stability and the love, appreciation, and value. That way, what is on your routine and pattern is correlated to things that you love, appreciate, and value at the moment, things that make you feel stable at the moment and shit like that. That way, when it comes into this, now you're tied together. Now, bitch, you tied together now. Now you're stable in all the right areas, all the things that you are fucking love, appreciating, and valuing at the moment. All the things that you get what I'm saying? This is some real deep fucking esoteric knowledge right here. Y'all motherfuckers pay attention if you ain't on this type of shit. And ignore the spookism that's within the words Capricorn, Taurus, zodiac sign, shit like that. Pay attention to and Venus and Saturn. Pay attention to the things that I was actually saying with these things. The stability, the love, appreciation, value, the routine and pattern, the practicality, the what makes sense in reality and shit like that. Pay attention to that if you're a person who is more on the tip of getting lost into the spookism and the baggage that is behind the energy of a zodiac sign or the energy of Capricorn or Taurus or whatever, you know what I'm saying, based on the witchcraft that they've done to y'all's minds to make y'all view things in certain ways. You get what I'm saying? Just pay attention to what is actually making sense within that, beyond the term and definition of what you consider to be a Capricorn or a zodiac sign or what that means. Or you get what I'm saying? Pay attention to what I was actually saying behind it, the energy that actually backs and supports those things. You get what I'm saying? Don't get lost into the spookism of it. Just pay attention to what I was actually saying, even if you need to rewind the video back. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to what I was actually saying. That's what's going to actually show you some shit. And that way, when you sit back and ponder on these things, you'll actually get some type of essence out of it, some type of substance out of it, to where we're actually doing something that's beneficial to us. You get what I'm saying? So don't get it fucked up. Just pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention to what's really going on and shit like that. But we about to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? One last thing I need to remind y'all: just don't be utilizing your practicality to make shit make sense to you, but meanwhile you're still justifying things. You know what I'm saying? And justifying negative characteristics and traits. Don't be doing it for that reason. You get what I'm saying? And when you're viewing practicality and stability, don't take it in the sense of what society offers to you as far as a worldview and a viewpoint of what stability is at the moment, what make practical sense. Like, don't think that you necessarily just need to go to college, or you just necessarily need to go and fucking get a 9-to-5 and work that shit for the rest of your life, or find a good career within a 9-to-5, or someplace where you can move up and become a manager and shit like that. Like, don't get lost into that type of aspect either. Utilize your practicalities in the right type of ways. Don't be correlated to what society sets in place for you. Be more correlated to what actually makes sense to you. You get what I'm saying? What actually makes sense to you. Because all of us have our internal intuitions. A lot of us ignore them. But we know that certain things don't make actual sense. And we know that certain things don't actually make sense, or they don't actually work for us necessarily. You get what I'm saying? So people like me, I need to be more correlated towards some dream, imagination type of energy. I need to be more correlated towards passion, desire, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that has given me anything in this life. You get what I'm saying? Mentally, emotionally, physically. Get what I'm saying? Just pay attention to that shit. But look, we getting off here. I really got to get in the shower and get ready for work. And I fucking still have some clips to upload and shit. So y'all be on the lookout for some new shorts that are coming out. We're going to start doing short form content and make this fucking channel viral. You get what I'm saying? Be on the lookout for that shit. It's coming soon. Also be on the lookout for my new music video coming out sometime. Probably fucking, I work today and tomorrow. Then I have a couple of days off in a row. So yeah, it'll be sometime in the middle of this week. Y'all just wait. It is the middle of the week, isn't it? Isn't it Tuesday or Wednesday? Yeah, bitch, it's Wednesday. It is directly the middle of the week. It'll be coming out towards more the end of the week. Y'all motherfuckers should pay attention. You know what I'm saying? We out here though. Big shout out to everybody donating. Big shout out to everybody hitting me up for consultations and tarot. Thank all of y'all. Big shout out to our new subscribers. Make sure y'all tune in to all these new videos, man. We gonna be having some shit for y'all. So just pay attention. You know what I'm saying? Peace though. We out there.